the Justice League movie. Now, I didn't go see this in theaters. I missed that at that point in time. I'm not too mad that I missed it. I also missed Wonder Woman in theaters, and I have yet to watch that one, but I've heard it's pretty good. And it's actually probably the best of the DC films, and I've seen all of them except for Wonder Woman. So my hopes are a little high. Alright, so let's get. There's gonna be spoilers throughout because this is just me throwing stuff out. And we'll start with what I put up on Twitter to kind of guide myself through the view through this video here. Okay, so first scene of the movie was somebody two or three little kids shooting Superman on like an iPhone from after the Parliament bombing in BVS, and they're asking Superman all these little questions that kids would ask somebody like that, and then it ends with the kids asking, "Oh, Superman, what do you like most about Earth?" And he kind of looks around, he thinks about it, smiles, looks at the camera, and goes, and then it cuts, and I'm like, wow, that is like a complete like how the whole DCU has been, where like any time we get like a moment of character that is familiar to us, they cut it, and it's also kind of like how in every movie they cut them to shreds basically. So let's move on. And then there's just a weird observation in one of the scenes where Lois is walking or is just in the city. It pans up from a newspaper stand. It's like, what does it say? Disappearing Heroes, and it's a picture of David Bowie, Superman, and Prince. I'm like, all right, whatever. Okay, now this is a big issue with me, and I'm gonna get it all out now. I didn't like Ezra Miller as the Flash. I mean, yeah, he's the Flash, and they were doing all this, like, it's cool to see him, but his character is just ear-gratingly annoying to me. Like, everything he says is just awful. Like, the first scene you see with him is him talking to his dad, and it's like, they're putting all this running and going somewhere and fastness, and it's just like, guys, we get it. Enough of that. That's ugh. And then also we had like every other scene, he's supposed to be the funny guy, so he's trying to hit all these comedy beats, and for me, they just missed every single time. I didn't get any really good laughs. It was like, there's one scene where from the trailers where Barry asks Bruce Wayne, "What's your power?" "Oh, I'm rich." Like, that is just the easiest Bruce Wayne Batman joke to make, and like it's all over the internet if you look at for memes and jokes and stuff. And then there's like scenes where he's just every time he says something, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this guy's so annoying. Like, there's the part where they come into like the Batcave-ish area. He's like, "Whoa, it's like a cave. A bat cave." And I'm like, oh my, just shut up. So the whole time I was just, every time with Flash, it's like, okay, we get it. He's going to be the awkward post-teen character that's just social, just doesn't know how to be a social person. And it's just, the worst. And so next up is everybody's argument for not joining the Justice League, and a lot of them are pretty weak. Well, Aquaman's is pretty weak. I guess he was the only first one that really said no. He was basically like, "No, I don't want to do it," which is alright, fine. You don't have to give us an explanation, but alright. That's on you. And then Cyborg actually has an argument saying that I can't go out into the world because I don't know what will happen. And then he makes an example of saying that, oh, he can rocket boost. And he said he couldn't do that the other night. And I'm like, okay, so he thinks he could be a potential danger to society. All right, I'm okay with that. That's really quite interesting and compelling, and it's a good idea. And so Cyborg has a good characterization there. And so then the movie kind of progresses and you get more scenes with just some characters and a couple funny bits in there, and then you get to oh oh yeah, just Batman cracking jokes out of nowhere. It's very jarring. It kind of takes me out of it a little bit because that's not really the character they set up in Batman versus Superman. He kind of makes jokes, but they're not like almost every time he opens his mouth, a joke comes out, kind of. So like, Batman didn't really need the humor, is what I'm saying, and that's really annoying. And it's more out of nowhere than the sudden jokiness of Thor and Thor Ragnarok, and that's a whole other subject. So then I'm at about halfway through the movie, and my tweet says, I can say right now Flash is trying too hard to be funny, Cyborg is trying too hard to be serious, Aquaman so far is the only new addition that I actually care for. And yeah, Aquaman was actually the best character in the whole movie. Makes me excited to actually go see Aquaman, and I never thought I would ever say something like that, but yeah. There's just so many times where Cyborg is just like stone face, and he's just, I'll do this, or I say this line. And it's just, come on, you can lighten up a little bit. Especially when everyone else in the cast is making jokes and stuff, and he's just like, I am the super serious guy. Like, why isn't Batman the super serious guy and Cyborg the occasional serious, occasional jokey? Blows my mind. So then I'm going on to say a couple other things about the characterization of Bruce Wayne. So he's being an asshole to everyone by trying to like push them to come together, to accept their powers, accept their role, stuff like that. And he says some stuff, and then everyone's hating on him, and there isn't really. And then later in the next scene, it's Wonder Woman realizing, oh, he was trying to do us better by him being the dick. And I'm like, okay, well, all right, I guess that's something that we needed. I mean, even though by the end of the movie they're all like, oh, I'm going to be in the public eye, and so it feels like they were going to do that, be in the public eye anyway. So, and then just watching the movie, I see that Batman, I can honestly say that as I am an actual, Batman fan, he's the most useless character in the Justice League movie. Like, honestly. You see Flash running around fast, punching things, and they're like flying across the room, or Cyborg shooting stuff, Aquaman and Wonder Woman like stabbing, slashing, punching and stuff. Then it cuts to Batman using like his grapple to pull a parademon down, or like he's kung fuing one. It's just alarmingly like, I don't think a kung fu, no matter how good you are, could stop something like a parademon. And that's why he's usually in the comics more relegated to like being on the watchtower and like saying, oh, I found this by analyzing this scene, and now I know where to go. Like, he's doing detective work, not on the front line. So yeah, overall it just feels really annoying. And my last tweet for the movie is, it took 3 movies, Superman's death, but now we finally get the Superman that the franchise has talked about since Man of Steel. And so let me talk about that for a minute. So basically, Superman comes back, he fights the League, Batman brings Lois Lane to him, and they fly off together, and they're at the Kent farm, which is actually one of the best scenes in the movie, where we finally get a little bit more characterization of Superman. Not just the grim, more broody than Batman Superman that we've had before. And now it's just, so now he's, smiling, being charismatic, And what I meant by what the franchise was talking about was like, oh, Superman was a beacon to the world. And like they say that shit like that throughout the whole series, and it's like, was he really though? Like, yeah, he still saved everybody, but he was also like very broody and didn't talk to the public or barely showed his face and stuff like that. So it's like I don't really buy that the world really cared as much as they should have. But now that the Superman's back and he's cracking jokes and actually being able to have fun and stuff, it's finally the Superman that this franchise was talking about, and it's just like, all right, guys, you finally got your shit together. This is kind of a step in the right direction. Overall, the film wasn't that bad. I mean, I like it more than I dislike it, honestly, but there's just so many problems with the movie, and it's just like, the best way I can describe it to people is like, you have your target and you have your ammo and you're shooting at the target and you're so close to the bullseye, but you're just off on every single bullet. It's the best way I can put it. Like, all the pieces are there, but they don't quite fit. It's kind of like a cheap jigsaw puzzle you buy at like a dollar store or something for like $2, and you get it, and it's like, yeah, it makes the image, but you know, it's the pieces don't quite fit, and there's little holes and everything. Yeah, that's basically how I can put the Justice League movie. I thought this video would be a little bit longer, but I guess I got out my major criticisms, my major positives, without really giving away too much, just some scenes that I thought were worth talking about. So, thanks everybody for watching the Mr. Shades show and watching me talk about the Justice League movie.